Hi everybody, I'm Jim Gepperth. I'm the Academic Dean here at Lakewood College, and with me,
I'm Jack Solomon, Compliance and Partnership Liaison here at Lakewood College.
and we wanted to just check in with you to give you a little bit of an update on, well, generally what's happening here at Lakewood College, but more specifically, the new programs that we've been working on for over a year now, and where we are with the progression of getting those up and live and students enrolled and all of that good stuff. We're not quite there yet, but we want to let you know what kind of work we've been doing and where we are in that path. And what we've learned along the way, because I think, Jack, you will agree, that with each phase of this, we're learning
Oh yes.
how to become a better school
Oh yes.
and what we need to do that. So, you may already know that our institutional accreditor, the DEAC, has given us the green light to move forward with the new degree programs, which is fantastic news. Now, I say that like it was easy, but it was not. A lot of work went into that, and a lot of back and forth with folks at the DEAC who gave us work to do to make those programs better, and then we addressed those areas and reported back to them as to what we did, and finally they said, yes, you can move forward. They actually have a two-part process. One is the initial review of the proposed programs. They give us the green light to proceed. We then work with the State Department of Higher Ed here in Ohio, which we are doing now. Once the programs are up and running and we have students in them and graduates, our institutional accreditor, the DEAC, will come back again and do another review of the programs in action. And then they'll give us sort of their final blessing with those programs. We are working with the folks at the Ohio Department of Higher Ed, our colleagues there. We visited them, let's see, I want to say,
It was August 12th.
so a couple of months ago, about 2.5 months ago. Doesn't even seem that long ago, but to share with them the work we've done on the new programs. And then, as you can imagine, they gave us more work to do. So we're addressing a number of areas in the programs. We may have reached out to you to get your input and advice. And we still have some work to do along those lines. So the next step is for us to then go back to the state and share with them the work that we've done with their guidance and kind of keep working at it until they're okay with going live with the new programs. We still think, optimistically, sometime early next year
Yes.
would be a good timeline for at least some of them to go live. Some of what I've learned along this process and this journey is the DEAC, and especially the state, they're very, very much about how our curriculum is developed, the thought process that goes into it, the stakeholders who are invited to the table, and then they get granular as far as, okay, who wrote the program outcomes? Are they mapped to content in the program? How do we assess, or how do we intend to assess that students, when they graduate, understand all that we say they will at the beginning? And so I've spent probably the last 3 to 6 months for sure kind of diving into, okay, program outcome development, the language we use in program outcomes, the tools that we use or will use in our programs to assess the learning. Not only that, but to get a sense for the student's perception on what they've learned. And so we're putting those tools and that kind of mapping together right now. And it also has given us the ability to improve the 2 associate degrees that we already have, because what we're doing for the new programs, we're doing for our current programs. We will be needing, I can tell you right now, faculty members, we're going to be needing to communicate much more with you about the programs that you are involved in holistically. Even though you may only teach 1 or 2 courses in a program, you really do need to know the program in its entirety. What are the program outcomes, and where do your learning objectives fall into the grand scheme of things? That's really what our colleagues want to know we're doing with you. Advisors, you've already been very, very helpful along these lines. And I think we're going to be needing more from you, especially from the perspective of prospective employers who might be hiring the graduates who will be the output, if you will, of these programs. And what should we be doing with students along the way to prepare them for that job? So advisors, I would say we're going to tweak your role just a little bit to be more employment focused. Not that you won't help us with the curriculum, you will. But we need that from our advisors, and then we need to pull in our faculty members to really dive into curriculum development and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of good work ahead, I think.
Okay. There's a lot of good work.
A lot of meetings. I know Anthony's excited about that. I say tongue in cheek because if he could wave a magic wand, it would all be done tomorrow. But a lot of meetings and communicating, and I think eventually we will get there. So we're very optimistic. There's been a lot of progress. We're not there yet.
Yeah. It is an exciting time. This is probably the first time you've ever seen me on video. Probably a few of you have seen me in some meetings, but again, my name is Jack Solomon, and I'm Compliance and Partnership Liaison here at Lakewood College. It's a bit of a new role that I stepped into back in June of this year, and essentially what that means for you all is that the compliance part of my job is basically I am behind the scenes with Jim, with Anthony, handling all of these regulatory issues. So the program map outcomes, all of that behind the scenes work that's really going to enhance the programs we currently have and the ones we are getting approved by the state with. That's what I'm working on. I'm behind the scenes helping put all that together. So you won't see a lot of my stuff, but I'm there in the background helping out.
Yeah, and we need your work and effort along these lines, because for everything that we do, there's a ton of information that informs us.
Yes.
Whether it be DEAC standards or processes that the state has for us. And I mean, we really need to know to some degree that we're doing things right when we congregate professionals, because as you can imagine, there's a lot of work and effort and resources expended when we get everybody together to get work done. And if we're not pointed in the right direction, then it's just wastefulness, and we're not about that. So Jack is instrumental in helping us understand before we even get going, what direction do we have to move in, and what do we have to keep in mind when we're doing this, along with Anthony, of course.
I'm the other half of Anthony's brain a lot of the time when we're
That's
working.
a frightening thought.
We get it done.
Yeah. I sometimes wonder exactly how his mind works, but I don't want to go there because that's...
I think it works pretty well.
Oh, it works pretty well. I just don't know how. Anyway, we want to thank you all so much for your participation. Again, be ready for more work, especially going into the new year, if not prior. And we look forward to being educators with you.
Thank you guys.
Take care.
Bye.